forfeits their very own self. And I sort of changed the words there. What good is it if a man or a woman gains the whole world and loses their children to the demonic? You know, we can gain everything. We can have the houses, we can have the toys, we can work hard, we can work crazily hard. But if we haven't worked at instilling faith within our children, we've lost so much for the next generations. Y'all follow me with that? My first mission statement, vision as a parent, as a grandparent, is to strive to raise faith-filled. Secondly, this is another passage if you're writing it down. This is a great one. Just Ephesians 6:4. Fathers, don't exasperate your children, which simply means don't make them mad at you. And some of us as dads or moms have done that, and I think if you're like me, you feel bad when you make your kid upset with you. Don't make them mad. Don't provoke them to anger. Instead, bring them up, nurture them, take them by the hand in the training, the discipline, not punishment. I hear some parents say, we punish our kids. No, we punish criminals. We discipline our children. Discipline means to make a disciple. It means to mold. In the training, the discipline, and instruction of the Lord, fear of the Lord, the admonition of the Lord. Number one, my goal, my prayer is to raise faith-filled, spiritually, well-adjusted. Well-adjusted. Emotionally well-adjusted. Matthew 22, Jesus quotes from Deuteronomy when Deuteronomy says, love the Lord your God with your heart, your soul, your mind. The second commandment is to love your neighbor as yourself. Some of you may be wondering, what in the world do I have this airplane up here for? Thinking, what is this for? You know, it's been a couple years that I have flown, and most of you know that I really do like to fly, but there's something about airplanes. There is the horizontal stabilizers, the back, the wings, horizontal stabilizers, and there's the vertical stabilizer, the back wing. The back wing deals with yaw, direction. So if you're flying along and you kick the rudder, your back wing will move, also your ailerons move, but this moves and it turns your plane. The back vertical stabilizer keeps your airplane on the right directional heading. The wings deal with the pitch. See how it pitches? So you got the yaw and the pitch. Y'all say that with me. Yaw, yaw, pitch, pitch. So you got the yaw and you got the pitch. The pitch deals with your up and your down. It's interesting for an airplane because you have the pitch which deals with up and down. It deals with going up, love the Lord your God with your heart, soul, mind, and strength, being with each other. But the pitch also has the wings, has to deal, like, it's the reaching out to others. Our unofficial theme or motto of Calvary is, hearts up to, and we don't know this one very well, do we? Hearts up to God, hands out to others. Hearts up to God, hands out to others. Here we have the horizontal, which is reaching out to others, and we have the vertical, which reaches up to God. Emotionally, we are called, I believe, to raise up children who are well-adjusted. Raise up children to be adults who are well-adjusted, who understand that vertical and the horizontal relationship of life. Deuteronomy 5 says, honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long in the land that God's given to you. Honor. Now, when you see military individuals, 4th of July, the parade down at Portage, that's where we went for 4th of July. It's amazing when the military men and women walk by, everybody sort of stand more at attention, and there's sort of an honor and a respect there that's given. Parents were to teach our kids to honor and respect. Also the fact that it says in Ephesians 6, children, obey your parents. This is right after Paul says, hey, dads, moms, don't get your kids mad at you. He also says, hey, kids, you need to obey your parents. Again, you see that vertical relationship with us and God, the vertical stabilizer, the horizontal stabilizer with each other, one another. And it says, my command is this, that you love each other as I have loved you. The horizontal. My goal, my prayer, my mission statement is that I can strive to raise faith-filled, well-adjusted, spiritual, emotional, and also physical, contributing members to society. Got online this last week in some different sites, government sites, and some sites talked about, websites talked about, there's like 14.3% of Americans that are on welfare. Anywhere from 35 to 50 million people are on welfare within our society. A lot of people that aren't necessarily being contributing members to society. Now, you may, when we get down a few verses, you may think that I'm doing double speak here. Okay? You may think that, but let me get to that point. But the reality is, we're called to train our children, train our grandchildren, train our nephews and nieces to be contributing members to society. Not just takers, but givers. And one of the great things of the mission trips, all these years with the high school kids, is trying to teach them to be givers. Givers. But we're called to do that in our homes too. So what are some of the passages? Proverbs 13 verse 4 says, the sluggard craves and gets nothing, but the desires of the diligent are fully satisfied. In Ephesians, Paul says, he who has been stealing must steal no longer, but must work, doing something useful with their own hands. It's interesting too if you look at the Mayflower with the Pilgrims when they came across. When they came across, when they started the Plymouth area, the beginning part, they decided it was going to be like a socialistic, a communal, and everybody would share. Oh, they realized that didn't work very well, and William, what's his name? William Bradford, who became governor as a young man, said no. What we're going to do is follow the biblical advice. From 2 Thessalonians, when it says, if a man will not work, he's not going to eat. They started off, things weren't real well. When they started to say, okay, if you're not going to work, you're not going to eat, they started to work and started to plant and started to harvest. You and I need to maybe, it is a need to, but I don't want to slap people on the side of the head. You and I are called to raise faith-filled, well-adjusted, contributing, working members to society. This is where I said that some of you may think that I'm doing doublespeak. Because when I talk about the fact we have 30 to 50 million people on welfare, and we spend $83.5 billion on the health and human services. Some of you look like, whoa, that is insane, and that's a lot. And yet the flip side is, we as a society do need to help. We do need to help. Micah says this, what does the Lord require of you but to act justly? To act justly, be people of integrity, to love mercy. In other words, to defend the cause of the widow, the widower, of the orphans. Those who really need our help, we're called to help them and support them and walk with them. And to walk humbly with our God. To walk humbly with our God. Now, I think most of you can probably say the word humble comes from the Latin word. Oh, come on. Some of you got to remember this one. To be humble comes from the Latin word. You guys are quiet this morning. Humus. Humus means fertile soil. It means to have fertile soil. Your heart is fertile for the working of God. Your heart is fertile